I'm Joseph Coelho, author of Swords and Bikes, a story about two friends who discover a bit of a magical world on their doorstep. I'm going to read an extract from the story for you. It's a verse novel, so I've been playing with language and poetry through the telling of the story. The first chapter, Singing in the Night. The low, gentle singing started not long after Michaela's 12th birthday. Same time every night. It was as if the night was chanting. She peered down from her flat on the 3rd floor of Binley Towers in the field opposite. The field was part of the grounds of Greenshire House, a huge old abandoned mansion, now owned by the local university. The signs staked into the ground read, "Keep out," and "private property," but that wouldn't stop Michaela and her friends. The field led to a huge bush. The roof of the huge old house peeked up behind the huge bush. The mansion was built hundreds of years ago. The huge bush kept the mansion tangled up and locked away. Michaela and her friends would try to get near, but the groundskeeper would yell, "Stay back, stay back." The groundskeeper would yell, "Stay back." Michaela was sure that the singing she heard at night was coming from that house. Chapter 2. Breakfast. Breakfast, a steaming plate of plantain and eggs. Michaela asks her dad about the singing. "Not this again, Kayla. It's probably just Gavin listening to reggae next door. Or could be upstairs, you know the Sloanes snore. Or it could be Gabby doing aerobics below. We've got neighbours all around. Anyone could be your singing show." Michaela's father had already warned Michaela to stay away from Greenshire House after the groundskeeper marched her and her friend Norris up to their flats and spoke to both their parents about calling the police. "You have plans today?" asked her dad, serving up some fried tomatoes. "Probably play computer with Norris." "You guys should go out. You don't realise it when you're young, but summer ain't forever. Get out there and have some fun." Michaela smiled guiltily. She had begged her dad for her bike, but had only used it a handful of times. She was too scared of falling off and told her father as much. Her father rubbed her fro, planted a bristly kiss on her cheek. "You have to be brave, get on your bike and go. It's only by facing our fears that we find courage and grow. I'm on a long shift today, but I'll see you tonight. There's curry in the fridge that will microwave up just right." But his words had stayed with her. She would go out on her bike. Chapter 3. The Bush. Michaela and Norris met on their bikes at the bottom of their block. "Should we go up to the house?" asked Norris, squinting up at Michaela under a shock of strawberry blonde hair. "Did you hear the singing last night?" asked Michaela, and Norris nodded. Michaela and Norris cycled towards the bush that hid the Greenshire House. A field of green rolled out ahead of them, free of the groundskeeper, but he could be watching. "Let's be quick," said Michaela. The bush was higher than a bus, and more tangled than a bowl of day-old spaghetti. Michaela and Norris poked and prodded, trying to find a way through the tangles. A noise from the campus makes them stop. "Phew, just students," says Michaela. They got back to their searching, prodding and poking until, what's this? Norris was on his hands and knees, scraping the dirt at the base of the bush. A wide rectangular stone was revealed. "That looks like a step," said Michaela in astonishment. "The bush is less tangled here," said Norris with stretched out arms. They felt the other steps rising up, overgrown by the bush's tangle. "I think I can push through," said Michaela, forcing an arm and then a shoulder deeper into the devilish bush, her feet finding purchase on one, then 2 steps. But as she went deeper in, a deep humming vibrated through her into her bones, making her jump back. "It's like the singing I heard last night, but deeper," said Michaela, as the bush drew them in deeper still. There was a shout from behind. The groundskeeper was running, all raised fist, red face, his shouted words muffled on the hot summer air. "Quick, we need to go," said Michaela. They grabbed their bikes and pushed them up the overgrown stairs and into the bush's depths. Chapter 4. The Other Side. The groundskeeper's shouts were immediately replaced by the deep humming of the bush, which got deeper and louder the further into the bush they pushed, until, with a rush, they tumbled out the other side and into a dilapidated Victorian garden. They were faced with a red brick wall. In a niche at its centre was a marble fountain, dry and disused. At the top of the fountain was a carved marble head with a leering, smiling face and horns. "Can you hear it?" asked Michaela. "Can you hear the singing?" Norris's eyes went wide as he took in the garden around him. Michaela followed his gaze. A brick summer house, old and crumbling, stood to their left. An empty pond to their right. Overgrown flower beds with strange-looking plants lined the red brick wall. A host of stems and sucking vines stretched up the red brick wall, but there was no source for the singing. It was coming from all around, from every flower, every blade of grass, every brick that made the red brick wall, from even the marble of the fountain itself, and especially that glaring horned head. "Let's wait for the groundskeeper to leave, then we can get out." They turned to the bush. The bush was gone, and in its place was a thick, tumbling forest. And I'm going to end there. And if you want to know what happens next, you will have to read Swords and Bikes by me, Joseph Coelho, and illustrated by Job Anderson. I hope you get to have a read. I hope you enjoy the book. Bye-bye.